Hello Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. I'm happy to have you all out there. As per usual, please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something or better yourself, to better your situation, raise your vibe, as they say. Please note that you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions, so it's always best to trust your own intuition above all else. That is your direct connection to the divine, right? What else? Take away only what serves you, what resonates with you, and release the rest. All right, let's go ahead and set the intention to get my Sagittarius gang out there watching today. Some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right, 2 more cards and we will hop in for Sag. All right, Sagittarius, let's do it. I hope this video finds you well. We are in the thick of eclipse season. It's it's a bit of a doozy, but I'm gonna help you navigate through here, hopefully, with this tarot reading. All right, Knight of Swords. All right, so incoming messages, the arrival of an important communication. This almost feels like it's being received from you, Sag. You can always reverse the roles. Sometimes this may resonate for you in multiple areas in life. This feels like a message coming to you. In the past, you have justice, so needing to be patient, needing to maintain harmony and internal balance. Yeah, like waiting patiently. I think you're anticipating this message or this communication because your ultimate goal here was, if I wait, my ships will come in. If I am patient, essentially. And always practicing good faith too, right? Faith that the universe will always deliver what it is that you need. Sometimes there can be an ego struggle because we hear that voice of what we want versus what we actually need. But yeah, if your ultimate goal or sometimes, the future position, it's like your ships are coming in. You knew they would. You knew that, and I don't say you as in you knew this person would, but it's like you knew something from this scenario was going to work itself out, but maybe getting there has been some sort of challenge or struggle. And I mean, maybe you're not quite at this point yet where you are receiving confirmation, or I'm hearing affirmation, or I'm hearing the word valid, feeling, what is the word? Not validity. It's like feeling validated, maybe feeling validated. I'm not sure if that's what was trying to come through, but that might be important for some of you. The ultimate goal is the 3 of Wands, which is about, it's a card in Aries, right? It's the sun. So the idea of our growth and development happens even during periods of wait. And what may feel like a pause or an obstacle or a delay, that's actually a really good opportunity for you to grow and lean into the quality of patience. Or, I always talk about sort of like active waiting versus passive waiting, where it's just, twiddling your thumbs, looking at your phone, looking out the window, like, gosh, I wish life would pick up. That's not a good use of your time, right? You can do that. There's no one stopping you from doing it. But ultimately, it's about knowing, what you can control. That's a big word for Aries energy, for Mars energy, right? A sign that's squared by Saturn energy in Capricorn, which is all about needing to have control. With Aries, you have to pick and choose your battles, right? And with Aries energy too, it's that Mars, that need to steam ahead and forge ahead despite the obstacles. So sometimes I think this might be saying, if there is a door that is locked or blocked, what do you think the universe is trying to tell you? Maybe it's not saying no. Maybe it's trying to encourage you down another path, or to, check out another door, see if you can walk through, see if you can pass that way. All right, so what are you thinking? You're thinking about you, or you're thinking about another Sagittarius. No, obviously, but with Justice, Temperance, and the 3 of Wands, like, spoiler alert, this entire reading is going to be about patience. Patience is a virtue. 3 of these cards indicate needing to find internal harmony and balance in order to work your way through situations external to you that might be presenting you with agitated or uncomfortable energy. We can't always choose what happens to us, but we can always choose how we react to it. Temperance is also a very important card of healing from any type of wounds, whether it's emotional, psychological, physical, right? So some of you may have felt like your life was put on pause because you had to recuperate from something, Maybe you got a cold, maybe you got a flu, maybe you busted your ankle and like you were laid up for a few weeks. Yeah, for a lot of you, it's like you're thinking about the process of healing. Some of you are wanting to blend energies with another and bring healing to a relationship, or to have some sort of healing conversation. What are you feeling? the push and pull, you're feeling struggle, you're feeling a little bit of opposition. You may wonder if the person you're wanting to heal or collaborate with or communicate with, sometimes you question if they're on the same page as you or if they're playing on your team. That actually has multiple layers to it. The idea of like, are we fighting with the same goal in mind? Leo had a similar reading, I believe, where it kind of, sometimes when you're in any sort of relationship, whether it's romantic or not, platonic, friends, business, co-workers, whatever, sometimes it's like there's this stifled energy and like you're just not gaining momentum and progress in some sort of collaboration. And sometimes in time when you step back, you realize what started off as a really good collaboration because you have the same goal and intention and vision. Sometimes life happens and it doesn't make anyone right or wrong or good or bad or black or white, you know what I mean? But sometimes there's like this, the shifting goalpost, we don't actually see things the same way anymore. So like energetically, it's like you're striving towards what you thought was the same thing, but it's almost like every time you add something, they're actually taking away. And obviously that's symbolic, right? But I don't know. I think some of you are feeling like you're not in the same place as you were when you started in this relationship. And I think a lot of you are questioning if, through healing and some sort of conversation, are we able to get back on the same page or on the same team and make sure that we are Aries energy, quote unquote, fighting for what we love? But are we trying to love that thing in different ways? Do we have a different love language? Or are we both fighting in terms of like a power struggle because it's like an ego-driven thing, fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen? Again, the word validation came through, needing validation. And I mean, you kind of know what I'm going to say there, right? Obviously, getting validation and praise and approval, that's wonderful and that's lovely. And, if you're getting it, bask in it. But also don't let that overly influence your own self-worth, because essentially the only person that you need validation from is yourself, right? And I mean, I know it's so easy for me to sit here and say that. It's an absolute truth though, and you know it. It's just putting that into practice is very hard. And like, same for me, right? I'm a tarot reader, but I'm a human being too. It's very hard to be like, yeah, you know what? I am good enough every single day and actually feel that way and practice it and believe it. But that's where that like justice, temperance, 3 of wands, it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of finding your footing there. Like, healing is not linear. It comes and goes, and there's a need to get comfortable and try and put things into practice. And if you slip up, temperance, you easily forgive yourself and you try again. And like, there isn't sort of this controlling energy with it's like releasing of Saturn stuff. It's like the obstacles and the pressure to do things at a certain speed or at a certain timeline or by a certain date. It doesn't really apply here. And some of you are like, no, it absolutely applies. I have a deadline and we have to sign this contract or move into the house or do whatever by this date. And again, like, I'm not going to fight you on that. Like you may be working with a very strict deadline, but the zoom out is like the deadline doesn't even matter. Like it's not even about that. Like, and again, like I don't mean to sound condescending or rude or minimize what you're going through, but like this is about something so much greater than that because it's teaching you to embrace imperfection as well as patience. And sort of leaning into your own voice of authority. And I don't think this is typically true for a lot of Sagittarians, but everyone's a little bit different. There is a message coming through here about maybe codependency, being on someone's team just for the sake of not being alone or having to go at it alone, but then realizing, ooh, like what I'm fighting, like we're fighting for 2 different teams here. There is also, it's coming through multiple times, so I am going to say it, and obviously it won't be everyone's message, but emotionally there might be sort of this idea of venturing away from a romantic or sexual relationship that you always thought of as, like innate part of you, versus venturing into some other territory. Like I'm just gonna say it, there might be something here coming through about like bisexuality or bisexual relationships, or it's like it was being relayed to me with sort of like that wink of like, oh, what team do they play for? Ha ha ha. And again, I'm not here to like make fun of you or whatever, but like it's coming through to me multiple times. So for some of you, you may have sort of this liberation of sexuality and being able to express what you want and what you're interested in and who you're actually looking to receive love from, that may go against tradition of what you've always gone after. And it doesn't have to be, a gender thing specifically, but setting the intention to go after partnerships that feed what it is that you need. Again, something about your love language, being liberated from a box that I think you had maybe put yourself in. And I'm sure more or less it's what you were taught growing up of like, this is what proper love is, and this is who you need to marry and who you should be with. A lot of you, it's like you're untethered from that. You're cutting it with the sword. It's like there's a liberation. There is a liberated conversation here, particularly if you are in a relationship that's been bombarded by struggle and obstacle and lots of fighting. Some of you may choose to take some time apart. And maybe with that, this patience, it's like, well, maybe that's going to show me what I needed to see. But it's like I have to experience that solitude. It's almost like hermit mode. It's like maybe absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe you guys come back together. Maybe you've already been in a period of separation and now you're like, you know what? I'm ready to come back in and talk about the thing. Others of you, it's like you're just starting to embark on maybe a journey where there is a severing or there is a split. And keep in mind, again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be with a friend. It could be distance from a family member, etc., etc. Patience and healing is what's coming through the strongest here, as well as I don't know, not questioning for the sake of paranoia, but really checking in with yourself and being honest about who do you feel is backing you and supporting you at this time, and who is not? Who is a naysayer? Who is negating? Who is constantly coming up with like glass half empty, or just not contributing to your overall happiness and success, but also your positivity and where that's weighing on your mental health. So the immediate help you have available to you is the Magician, knowing that the minute you want to rewrite the narrative or I'm hearing like erase the tape. Do you guys remember like VHS tapes? It's like you rewind and like you put it in a camcorder and then you can record over it. Something with the Magician, it's like being able to rewrite the narrative, but like push pause, rewind, and then completely do it again or do it in a different way. So for some of you, this may actually speak about a reunion, but I will underscore though, it had to break off, it had to sever, or there had to be some sort of there had to be a problem. There had to be some sort of struggle that led to some sort of break or epiphany or I'm hearing the word obstruction. Interesting. Something had to break so that we could examine the cracks and actually see them, not just the unspoken tension. You know what I mean? But now it's like we're going to bring it back together for some of you. Only this time we're going to do it differently because we've had that chance to like gain a better sense of ourselves and what we want and how we both, whoever this involves, have changed individually. And can we come back together and make magic again? Can it be in a new way? Is there an equal desire to sort of reignite the flames or reinvigorate, breathe new life into this? That does seem to be the conversation at hand. It's like, but make no mistake about it, Sagittarius, just because it didn't work out with this one person doesn't mean that you're going to live a life of solitude. This is saying you have all the tools on your table. You can manifest whatever the hell you want, right? So maybe that comes in the form of a new person. Maybe you guys are just choosing to take a beat out, to, take a seat on the bleachers and see what comes. If you put more effort into your, your friendships, if you put more effort into your work life, there might be a need to divide or sect off. What is the proper term? Rather than like focusing solely on your love life, being like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna revisit that later when I have more steam and energy and some maybe new, original, innovative idea that I can bring to the table. Until then, like I'm gonna put my effort where I feel like it's needed and it's worthy. That's sort of that active waiting versus passive waiting. So action or advice card, move towards what you love, go towards what feels like home. There might be something beneficial to you about your home, your lineage, your roots, your ancestors, the support of your family. For others of you, it may involve a Cancerian, a Cancer, someone who has strong Cancer in their chart. Connecting to the feeling sector, that's the Cancer energy, the moon, connecting with what's going on in your feeling sector, your emotions, honoring that, not just sort of pushing it down or suppressing what you're feeling. Your feelings need to be seen. Essentially what you're feeling is being presented as like the top card here. It's like the top tier. So what's driving us forward right now is our intuition and our feelings. What else was I going to say about that? It may or may not have a storyline to do with a mother figure, a maternal figure. Oh, and also maybe small trips or travel could be beneficial to you. And I mean, that never shocks me in a Sagittarius reading. There's usually a little bit of movement and travel involved somewhere. I think some of you are learning to communicate in a new way as well. And not only that, learning to communicate better, or for the first time, your feelings in regards to a relationship where it just feels like it was suppressed, or maybe it wasn't welcomed before. Maybe you grew up in a household where you were taught it's not appropriate to talk about feelings, or feelings make you weak, or you're too emotional, that sort of thing, where it was almost like the rule book in the past was to suppress something and not let it free. And that actually seems to be, for a lot of you, the solution to bringing healing to not just yourself, but to some sort of relationship in your life. So you have the ability to manifest whatever it is that you want. And yeah, to me, this is like, again, the idea of rewriting the script or rewriting the narrative, being able to see how you did something in the past and then choosing a different mode, choosing a different way to operate in order to move forward and get different results this time, right? So tell me a little bit more. The Chariot. Yeah, so this could involve, again, a maternal figure or a wife energy with the Queen of Pentacles. That could be you. That could be your person. I also think, too, by this learning how to better express your emotions and what you're feeling, it's like someone holds you in high regard when you're able to do that. This person actually really values that you're able to speak your authentic truth and to go a little bit deep, to talk about the heavy stuff too, and not completely skirt over it or skate over it, or again, suppress it, or almost like toxic positivity. Because here's the thing, it's all about balance with Temperance and the Justice card. I think that word is coming through because, and no shade, Sagittarius, I love, as a Jupiter ruled sign, more often than not, a lot of Sagittarians can be very buoyant and happy, and that child, like let's keep it light. It's fire energy. Well, let's let it breathe. Let's keep the oxygen going. Let's keep the embers going so the flames are high, right? Let's rise up to the sky. But with that, do emotions make you uncomfortable? And where have you been lacking in your ability to address serious issues or conflict when maybe in the past it was easier just to run away and not confront them? Whatever this relationship is, it's actually going to add value to be able to sort of face your fears and slay the dragons or conquer the demons, existing within us, which it all does. The Chariot always speaks about balancing, the dark and the light, the shadow and the light, however you want to say it. But this relationship values for being able to talk about the heavy stuff, and then we can restore it, we can heal it, and then we can move on, and then we can keep it light again, and we can have fun. But it's like there's a need to do both here. There's a need to do both. And for a lot of you, I think you're coming to grips or coming to terms with where maybe that has stopped you in the past where that has stopped you in the past, but where you've struggled to communicate that, because it does incite some uncomfortable energy. I'm sort of getting a 5 of Cups where, it's sort of this, like, if we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. It's avoidant, like avoidant personality. And if that's not you, maybe that's someone you were dealing with. So I don't know, this doesn't have to be reconciliation or reunion, but the optimism in me, because I'm reading for Sagittarius, is there's no reason why you guys can't try and get back on the same page. But with 2 5s, it shows me there has been some difficulty here. It hasn't been totally smooth sailing. Things were said or done where somebody felt hurt or victimized, or somebody maybe didn't act in the highest vibration. And so there might be a bit of a power struggle, or again, really trying to convince someone to think the way you think or act the way you do. And you know what I'm going to say. It's like, you can't force that. You can only control you. The right person will want to step up and show up to the relationship in the right way and be what you need, but it has to be their choice. And again, that goes vice versa. There's a nice little mirroring there. So others of you, if this is, many times around, maybe this is a story about liberation for you, and realizing that, through some sort of adventure of solitude or hermit mode, and you've been able to come to some major conclusions about healing yourself and healing your wounds, healing, your inner child. You may realize that you're going to go about this in a different way now. Whatever you're seeking for relationships in any asset or life, or any facet of life rather, you may show up for yourself in a different way, and therefore you might attract new different types of people. So you have Inspiration. These are your oracle cards, by the way. What else? True to form. Guess who came down? I can hear the door swinging. True to form. All right. For those who don't know, my dad always comes down and interrupts my Sagittarius readings because he's a Sagittarius. He knows when I'm reading for you guys, I swear. I say that every week. All right. The Fence. This is about boundaries. 26, that makes 8. So something about the Strength card. This might involve a Leo. But really, I'm not even going to read into that so much. I almost think this is about self-imposed limitation and obstacles, being able to like scale that fence. I'm literally seeing like a horse jumping over the fence of like the Chariot energy. Areas where you weren't able to open up or let the gate down, however you want to say it, in terms of having an energy go back and forth between partnership or people, that's changing. So yes, boundaries are always healthy and important, but this whole reading to me is like being able to slowly get more comfortable doing something or being something that you weren't able to do before because of self-imposed limitations. Or again, something you were taught to believe was true or necessary or absolute. You come to realize that's not really true. That's not really true. You have to go towards what inspires you. All right, so a character that may be playing a role in this. Interesting, you got the chef. So culinary maestro, cooking, artistry, seasoning, and proficiency. So maybe that's literal for some of you. For all of you, that's more of a metaphor too. I don't know, mixing up the ingredients. That always makes me think of like Taurian energy and also Venus energy, right? Venus has a lot to do with like our food, right? Taurus and Libra, for that matter, are ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of connection. It's the planet of partnership and balance and harmony. And, the South Node is in Libra. It's part of the eclipse that we're experiencing. So that certainly is a theme that is prevalent in a lot of readings right now. And then you also have Singer, resonance, moving hearts, harmony, emotions, and performance. I think Pisces had this card too, if I'm not mistaken. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me today, Sagittarius. I appreciate you. Please do show me some love and hit the like button. I welcome you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Leave a positive comment. What else? Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post in the future. And if you want more content from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I will see you soon for more tarot.